What do the Olympic rings symbolize? The famous Olympic rings logo is more than 100 years old and its symbolism is ageless. When we think of the Olympics, a few things come to mind immediately. Athletes, flags of the country they represent, torch, medals, and the Olympic rings. History of the Olympics. Both the Olympic rings and the modern Olympics themselves can be traced back to one man, 19th century French historian, sociologist, athlete, and education reformer Pierre de Coubertin. 5 years later, in June 1894, Coubertin founded the International Olympic Committee and proposed what would become the modern-day Olympic Games, the first of which were held in Athens in 1896, followed by the 1900 Games in Paris. From the very beginning, Coubertin's vision for the Olympics included elite athletes from different parts of the world coming together in one location to compete against each other. In the second edition of the Olympic Bulletin in 1894, he spelled out how the Games would rotate between different countries and why that was such an important aspect of the event. History of the Olympic Rings. The 1912 Olympic Games held in Stockholm, Sweden, were the first to include athletes from what were then considered the 5 continents: Africa, Asia, Europe, Oceania, and a combination of North and South America. Inspired by what had become a truly global event, in 1913, Coubertin designed what would become the symbol of the Games, the Olympic rings. The Olympic rings have been used in every summer and winter games since 1920. The 5 rings represent the 5 continents that participated in the 1912 Games. Coubertin chose the 6 official Olympic colors: blue, yellow, black, green, red, and white, because when he introduced the symbol in 1913, every single flag of the nations participating in the Games could be reproduced using the colors in the Olympic symbol. Believe it or not, there are currently 7 official versions of the Olympic rings, according to the IOC. The preferred iteration is the one featuring the rings in all 5 colors on a white background. However, in situations where it's not possible to reproduce the Olympic rings in color, monochrome versions of the rings in each of the 6 official Olympic colors, blue, yellow, black, green, red, and white, are acceptable alternatives. Here's the evolution of the Olympic rings from 1913 to 2010. 1913. Coubertin creates the Olympic rings. The original symbol featured 5 interlaced rings, blue, yellow, black, green, and red in color, in the middle of a white background. 1920. The Olympic rings made their official debut at the Games of the 7 Olympiad in Antwerp in the form of the Olympic flag. 1957. After the rings had seen 44 years of use, the IOC approved the first modification of the Olympic rings, though it was extremely subtle. In fact, it only differed slightly from Coubertin's original, moving the 2 lower rings down a bit farther and providing additional space between the rings. 1986. The IOC updated their graphic standards to include a description of the official version of the Olympic rings, complete with how much space should be between each ring when the logo was reproduced. 2010. The IOC Executive Board decided that the Olympic rings should return to their roots, as in Coubertin's original version, with the rings interlaced seamlessly. Did you like the facts about the Olympic rings and how it all started? If you do, like and share this video. Hope you learned a lot today. Stay bright!